Hey everyone! Today we're exploring another chilling and disturbing case. If you'd like to support the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay engaged. It really means a lot. I truly appreciate it. Now, take a deep breath and let's dive in. On March 24th, 2022, a woman was found in her kitchen, barely alive, stabbed 6 times and left to die. Her name was Favour Okoye, a respected youth mentor and church coordinator. The attack looked like a robbery gone wrong. But it wasn't, because just before she lost consciousness, she whispered 4 chilling words to the paramedic. It was the church. Favour was 32, smart, quiet, devoted. Everyone in her Nigerian community knew her as Sister Favour. She hosted women's empowerment programs, taught teenagers about purity. She was engaged to Pastor Darlington MBA, the founder of Holy Fire Tabernacle, a charismatic church that attracted thousands every Sunday. They were the couple everyone admired, until Favour saw something she was never meant to see. It started with a young girl, 15 years old, shaking, ashamed, and afraid. She confessed to Favour in a counseling session. "The pastor sleeps with me. He says it helps my destiny." Favour froze, and then the floodgates opened. Girl after girl, story after story, all saying the same thing. "He touches us during deliverance. We're told not to tell anyone or we'll be cursed." Favour began digging, and what she found made her question everything. Fake miracles, hidden cameras, anonymous donations traced to offshore accounts, girls sent abroad for ministry training, who were never heard from again. Favour planned to expose everything. She backed up files, recorded audio, even reached out to a journalist. But the night she was meant to send the full evidence, someone came for her. The door was kicked in. She was stabbed 6 times, in the neck, back, and side. She was left in a pool of blood. They thought she'd die, but she didn't. When she woke up in a hospital days later, she didn't ask for water. She asked for a detective. She had names, screenshots, audio clips, bank transfers. She handed over a flash drive and said one thing: "If I die, release this." Police raided the church. What they found was beyond belief. A hidden backroom wired with cameras. Photos of women, cataloged like evidence. Foreign passports. Dozens of burner phones. Blood-stained sheets. Favour's evidence revealed a multi-state religious syndicate, fronted by respected pastors and prayer warriors. But behind the robes were crimes of sexual exploitation, blackmail, fake deliverance scams, money laundering, human trafficking. Pastor Darlington was arrested, but that was only the beginning, because during interrogation, Darlington refused to speak, except once. He leaned forward and whispered, "I'm just a deacon. You haven't even met the bishop yet." Favour now lives in hiding under 24-hour protection. But strange things keep happening. 2 of the officers who handled her case are now missing. One girl who testified was found drowned. The journalist she first contacted, dead in a supposed car crash. Now Favour is saying the syndicate goes far beyond just a church, and she's about to name names. But can she survive at this time? The Bishop Darlington referred to as Bishop Anselm, a man so revered in Christian circles. Some called him the Oracle. He was the founder of 7 Rivers Assembly, with branches in 9 countries. He dined with presidents, sat on NGO boards, held interfaith peace summits. But behind the holy image was a monster. Favour's flash drive contained a ledger, coded with initials and routing numbers. When forensic analysts broke it down, it revealed international wire transfers, cryptic property purchases, monthly payments to missionaries who never existed, links to offshore accounts in Cyprus, Ghana, and the UAE. This wasn't just abuse. It was organized crime under the disguise of religion. Authorities began digging, and the victims weren't just in Nigeria. They found girls trafficked from Ivory Coast, Benin Republic, South Africa, and even Europe. A secret safe house was established for victims. Some had been silent for years. One girl, now 19, told investigators, "They said if I left, I'd get leprosy, that I'd be cursed and die." Another whispered, "They filmed everything. then said they'd send the tapes to my father if I told anyone. Many of the women had tattoos, disguised as spiritual markings, used for branding like cattle. The deeper investigators looked, the stranger things became. Former insiders described secret night vigils that weren't prayers, but rituals. They'd blindfold new members, make them drink from goblets. Pledges were taken, videos recorded. One whistleblower called it a spiritual blackmail factory. And they used those tapes to control pastors, politicians, and police chiefs. Interpol, DSS, and local police launched a coordinated raid on Seven Rivers Assembly HQ. The compound was wired with surveillance. They found dozens of girls locked in dormitories, ceremonial robes soaked in blood, a soundproofed underground chamber, a private cremation furnace. And yet, Bishop Anselm was gone, vanished. He had left the country 48 hours before, on a diplomatic flight, with immunity papers. 2 government ministers publicly dismissed the investigation. One even called it a smear campaign against God's people. But leaked audio revealed a sickening truth. We all eat from that altar. You take him down, the whole table shakes. One officer who tried to push for a warrant against a top official was found dead, burned in his car. The case had touched politics, immigration, and even foreign aid channels. Now a fugitive from those she once trusted, Favour had to flee the country. But before she disappeared, she recorded a voice note. I may not live to see the end of this, but someone has to tell the truth. The bishop isn't just one man. He is a face on a mask, and behind that mask are many more. In a final twist, an anonymous source delivered a photo to investigators. It showed Bishop Anselm in Dubai, sitting with 2 Nigerian senators, and a European clergyman under investigation for child trafficking. The photo was dated last week, but attached to the back was a handwritten note that simply read, "The altar has no borders, neither does the blood on it." Favour Okoye exposed a syndicate hidden inside a Nigerian megachurch. Her survival and the evidence she smuggled out led to the arrest of her ex-fiancé, Pastor Darlington. But Darlington was only a pawn. The real orchestrator, Bishop Anselm Chikwudi, vanished before the raid. And now, he's reappeared abroad, surrounded by powerful men. Interpol traced some of the bank accounts, found in Favour's flash drive. Funds moved through shell companies in Ghana, Dubai, Switzerland, Panama. One company, Divine Outreach Logistics, registered as a faith-based NGO, had received over $14 million in missionary aid. But no missionaries were ever sent. Instead, surveillance footage from a shipping hub in Cotonou showed crates being loaded at midnight, guarded by men in clergy robes and armed police. In Italy, a journalist named Caterina Rossi had been investigating a similar group, the Order of the White Veil, suspected of laundering money through African churches and orphanages. When she saw the photo of Bishop Anselm, she gasped, "That's him." But here, he's known as Father Emmanuel Chukwu. He runs the Roma Youth Ministry. In Rome, he was baptizing babies. In Lagos, he was branding girls. Same man, 2 names. Interpol issued notice. But Bishop Anselm now held diplomatic status under the United Religious Peace Delegation, an international lobbying body funded by major governments. They couldn't touch him. A whistleblower inside the delegation said, "He's not alone. There are dozens of men of God like him. They swap identities, move countries, and every time one gets exposed, another replaces him." In a safe house in Spain, a survivor named Sophia spoke out. She had been taken from Nigeria at age 17 under the guise of missionary training. They gave me a new name, told me to forget my family. I worked as a maid during the day, and at night I had to serve the brothers. Girls were being used as bargaining chips, traded for influence, trapped in rituals, silenced with fear. While most victims have been young women, new revelations showed boys were not spared. An orphanage in Togo, run by a Christian outreach, had been exposed as a grooming center. One boy, now 13, described what happened at Bible camp. They took us into a small room, said it was the holy chamber. They made us drink something bitter, and then, I don't remember much. He woke up in pain and never saw his friend again. A confidential memo leaked by a former customs officer revealed the names of 5 Nigerian officials receiving monthly payments from organizations linked to the church network. One of them now leads the National Human Rights Commission. Another sits on a UN Faith and Development panel. Favour once said, "It's not the church protecting the predators. It's the state that protects the church." Interpol reissued the red notice. But no country wants to claim jurisdiction. Bishop Anselm is stateless, moving between safe houses funded by spiritual NGOs and charity foundations. The man who helped expose the Dubai connection, found hanged in his apartment. No signs of struggle. Labeled a suicide. Favour's current location? Unknown. But days ago, a mysterious encrypted file was uploaded to the dark web. Labeled Anointed Files. The true list. The file claims to hold names of 64 active members of the Syndicate, GPS coordinates of victim drop-off points, video evidence of rituals and abuse, voice memos from high-level religious leaders. Governments are scrambling to stop it. Hackers are fighting to decrypt it. And according to anonymous whistleblowers, one name on the list shocked even the FBI, a name tied to the Vatican. The decrypted document named Cardinal Paolo Giannetti, a senior Vatican official and head of the Global Outreach Initiative, as a financial conduit for the network. He had ties to several NGOs that funneled millions into missionary activities in Africa, organizations Favour had flagged before disappearing. Investigators traced over $6.8 million from one such fund to a property in Nigeria, now confirmed as a training center for new missionaries, most of whom were never seen again. The Vatican issued a statement. These allegations are baseless, malicious, and deeply offensive to the Holy See. But a former Vatican accountant turned whistleblower under anonymity said, "There are secrets buried in gold. What you see on the altar is a performance. What happens in the vaults is where the church keeps its sins." And then he vanished. A journalist in Rome, Elisa Moretti, received death threats after publishing a story about Giannetti's connections to Bishop Anselm. Her apartment was broken into, her laptop stolen, her dog poisoned, and yet she wouldn't back down. She told the BBC, "They want you to believe this is a spiritual attack, but it's organized crime in a white collar and cassock." 2 months after going underground, Favour resurfaced in a video message posted anonymously to an encrypted blog. She looked thinner. Her voice was tired. "They want me erased, but I've seen too much. The bishop is just a chapter. The real book is in Rome." She claimed she had flight logs, personal correspondence between Anselm and Giannetti, video footage of European clerics attending initiation ceremonies in West Africa. She promised to release everything, unless she was killed first. Some clergy claimed this was a spiritual war against the church, but others admitted, off record, that there were dark alliances in high places. One former priest confessed, "They recruit young, poor clergy, promise power, then bind them with shame, secrets, and sin. You either obey or disappear." MI5 raided a deliverance ministry in South London. Behind its tinted glass chapel, they found 6 undocumented teenage girls, a locked room with ritual objects, a USB drive containing video files titled New Vessels. One clip showed a known archbishop blessing girls in robes, blindfolded, while men chanted in Latin. That archbishop? He once served directly under Cardinal Giannetti. Then came the biggest leak yet. An unlisted video, uploaded briefly to a shadow web server, showed Bishop Anselm speaking at a private retreat. "We don't use bullets. We use belief. And belief is more powerful than any gun." He smiled and ended with, "Let them dig. By the time they reach the truth, we'll already be wearing different robes." As public outrage exploded, Cardinal Giannetti died suddenly. Official cause? Heart failure. But the coroner's report, leaked to a hacker forum, revealed traces of digitalis, a toxin that mimics cardiac arrest. At his funeral in Rome, one man stood near the front. Dark sunglasses, no entourage. A blurry photo taken by a tourist showed a man looked exactly like Bishop Anselm. The file was labeled, "The devil came to bury his own." Cardinal Paolo Giannetti was laid to rest in a gold-trimmed coffin under the dome of St. Maria Basilica. Choirs sang. Bishops wept. The Pope himself sent a handwritten tribute. But one photo changed everything. A man in dark sunglasses, standing just 5 rows from the altar. A man believed to be Bishop Anselm, wanted by Interpol, suspected of trafficking, abuse, and murder. If the devil was bold enough to attend the funeral of his own puppet, then who or what is protecting him? In a video uploaded and immediately taken down, Favour appeared from an undisclosed location. She looked haunted, her voice low. Giannetti didn't die. He was taken. Taken by the same people he served. They call it closing the altar. She promised one last drop, an unedited recording from a ritual in 2019. In it, she said you'd hear a prayer in Latin, a screaming girl, and 3 men calling each other by code, names tied to clergy titles. Then the video cut off. Her accounts went dark. No one's seen her since. Sources close to the investigation say closing the altar is an internal term in the Syndicate for eliminating exposed members before they testify. In the last 6 months alone, at least, 4 survivors have gone missing. 2 lawyers have withdrawn from the case, citing unexplainable threats. One journalist was found hanging in her office, her report never published. One former insider said, "It's spiritual warfare on the surface, but in truth, it's just well-funded, well-dressed murder." A religious crusade held in Rwanda 2 weeks after the funeral drew nearly 10,000 people. The guest speaker? A prophet Joshua Ndema from South Africa. But facial recognition software, used by a private investigator, flagged him as a 98% match to Bishop Anselm. New name, new passport, new miracles, and this time, he had a security detail approved by local government. When journalists asked about the allegations, the church issued a statement. "Touch not my anointed. The Lord fights for his own." Interpol agents working on child trafficking discovered that prayer retreats in multiple African countries were fronts for trafficking. One such camp in Cameroon had no church building, no records of sermons, but a hidden underground cell with 7 girls, all under 14. Each bore the same marking, a small, carved cross beneath the left ear. It's the same symbol seen in the leaked ritual video Favour tried to release. Efforts to bring Anselm to justice are now being blocked by 3 governments. One investigator leaked an email exchange. "We have to let it go. He's too deep. There are pastors, politicians, and even presidents in this thing. The deeper they dig, the more resistance they face." One Interpol officer called it the most spiritually protected crime ring in modern history. A former priest, now under protection in Switzerland, broke his silence. He says he served in Anselm's circle for 5 years. "We were told we were saving souls, but we were feeding a beast. The rituals? Real. The girls? Chosen. They made you drink, then they made you forget." He claims there are 33 core members operating under clerical identities across 14 countries, all answer to one man, a man called the Shepherd. Favour's last document upload. A photo she captioned, "He watches over the wolves," shows a grainy image of a tall man blessing younger clergy in robes. In the corner of the frame is something chilling, a Vatican crest, and a calendar marked Jerusalem Retreat, October 14th. Investigators believe this may be a ritual event, an international gathering, possibly even a final initiation. But the trail ends there. Last night, a burner phone linked to Favour's network sent one final message to a journalist. They're preparing the next bishop. This doesn't end unless someone burns the altar itself. I'm going in. If I don't come out and tell the world what they did to us. No one has heard from her since. And the next Jerusalem retreat is 14 days away. A private retreat in Jerusalem. No press, no live stream, no public announcement. Only select clergy from around the world and one hidden agenda, the final initiation. The invitation list wasn't public, but someone got in, and the message they left behind, This is the last altar. If they complete it, there's no going back. Officially, the retreat was a global gathering of interfaith leaders focused on peace. Held at a luxury monastery outside Jerusalem, the event included private Eucharist ceremonies, closed-door cleansing rituals, strict no-camera policy. Attendees arrived in black SUVs with diplomatic plates. No public schedule, no media access. One Israeli journalist called it a ghost conference. You know it's happening, but no one can prove it. 3 days into the retreat, a 3-minute video leaked on a dark web forum. The footage, grainy and unstable, showed men in blood-red robes walking in a circle, a young woman kneeling blindfolded, a senior clergy member chanting in multiple languages, a gold emblem on the wall with the words, "The shepherd knows his own." A second voice could be heard behind the camera whispering, "This is it. They're marking her now." Then the feed cut out. Digital analysts confirmed the footage was taken from inside the retreat, but couldn't trace the source. The girl in the video fit Favor's height and build, but her face was never shown. The next day, a post appeared on an encrypted blog. "I failed. I got caught, but I recorded it all. Find the hidden drive in the chapel of the fallen lamb. If I die, make them pay." The post was signed with names she only used once before, Daughter of Fire. That was the name Favour used in her earliest audio files. It was her code name when she first exposed the Syndicate. Israeli authorities, under pressure from international watchdogs, raided the abandoned chapel of the fallen lamb near Bethlehem. Inside, they found a burned-out altar, chains embedded into the walls, and taped beneath a loose stone, a small black flash drive. The contents? Over 12 hours of footage from the Jerusalem retreat. Rituals, blood ceremonies, force branding, and a live birth presented as a miracle manifestation. Most disturbing of all, a final clip showing a woman unconscious being laid before the altar. The camera zoomed in briefly on her face. It was Favour. UN human rights investigators demanded action, but the Vatican denied involvement. The Israeli government issued a one-line statement. "We are investigating all allegations with seriousness and respect." No arrests were made. No footage was aired publicly. Instead, the files were scrubbed from the internet within 24 hours. The few journalists who downloaded them, accounts deleted. Some received legal threats. One was reported missing, using voice-matching AI. Analysts identified the man leading the rituals as Father Benedict Valois, a French priest long believed dead after a church fire in 2006. Turns out, he wasn't dead. He had simply disappeared, re-emerging years later under aliases across Kenya, Pakistan, and Ukraine. Valois was the man behind the shepherd identity. He trained Bishop Anselm. He trained all of them. The inner circle is called the Circle of 12. Each member oversees operations in a region: Africa, Europe, South America, the Middle East. They recruit through orphanages, missionary programs, underground deliverance ministries. They promise purity, but deliver torment. Every initiation is sealed with a ritual phrase: "The sheep are silent, the shepherds feed." One last encrypted message hit the dark web this week. A 17-second audio clip. A woman's voice, tired, fading. "They tried to turn me, but I remembered who I was. I saw the shepherd's face. He's not just a man, he's something else." Then silence, and a file labeled Part 7, "The blood keeps flowing." Authorities scrubbed every trace of the Jerusalem videos. Social media banned accounts. Websites hosting mirror links were shut down within 48 hours. But a hacker group calling themselves Veil Watch posted a final message: "The world erased her voice. We archived it. If they try again, we release everything." Attached was a link to a single 30-second clip. In it, Favour stands chained before a flaming altar. A voice commands, "Renounce your truth." Her reply: "I'd rather die telling the truth than live carrying your lies." Then the screen went black. The exposure forced the Syndicate underground. 3 churches closed. 1 bishop resigned. 2 embassies launched internal audits, but no major arrests, no trials, no press conferences. Instead, survivors were branded mentally unstable, and Favour declared legally dead in Nigeria. Declared dead, but her body was never found. Major religious bodies called the accusations a coordinated anti-Christian attack. They flooded the media with testimonies of revival, miracles, and unity. One pastor said, "Even if these things happen, which I doubt, it was the work of a few bad eggs. The church must not suffer." Within weeks, the headlines had shifted. The world turned to celebrity gossip, political scandals, and viral challenges. Favour's story faded, but the blood, it kept flowing. Quietly, silently, in rural orphanages, in prayer camps, in anointed homes across the world. 2 months later, the hacker group resurfaced, this time with something worse. They called it the Second Scroll. It includes 91 active members, names of 13 senior clergy still practicing, evidence that the shepherd has moved operations to South America, and one chilling revelation: there are now female shepherds. The cult is evolving, expanding, rebranding under new banners. From holy fire to divine mothers, from deliverance to feminine healing. Same rituals, same blood, new faces. A survivor named Kemi agreed to speak with us. Her face hidden, voice distorted. They made us believe we were chosen. That pain was holy. That obedience was salvation. But Favour, she broke that lie for us. She says Favour visited her just weeks before Jerusalem. She hugged me. She said, "If I don't make it out, just remember, I did this for you." There's no body, no grave, only scattered files, voices in the shadows, and survivors clinging to her name. And now, whispers say Favour may still be alive. A drone photo from Colombia shows a woman helping smuggled girls escape from a jungle camp. She's thin, wearing a hood, but her eyes, they match Favour's. No one can confirm it, but some survivors believe. She became what they feared most, a ghost they couldn't kill and a truth they couldn't bury. Favour's journey was never just about one church, or one bishop, or one country. It was about systems that protect predators, religions that silence victims, and institutions that choose image over justice. In the end, the question isn't what happened to her. The question is, will we ever believe women like her in time to stop the next altar from rising? What are your thoughts on this case? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with more stories, where each case isn't just about crime, but also offers a lesson for life.